Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I just wanted to do more of a process video on how I make my clusters. And a couple of days ago I did a time-lapse video of how I put together the bases, and I realized that wasn't able to explain exactly how I put them together or what kind of tips and tricks that I use to put these together. And I also didn't finish decorating them, so I would like to try to do that today. Let me put these aside. So basically I usually work with more neutral tones and like browns and tans, and then sometimes I'll put in like a pop of color, like with these there's some blue, and then I like to do greens, and all I do is I use my scraps. So let's see, I have book pages, I have floral pages, offcuts from all my scrapbook paper, and I usually just like to start with some sort of base. So if I don't like what I do initially, I can just, set it aside and then do something else. But let's say I use this as my base. Let me find my, there we go. Okay. So I just ink around the edges. You don't have to do this. And I like ripping my papers because it gives it more of that vintage look, but you also don't have to do that either. So I'm starting out with this. Let me move these out of the screen. And then I'm just gonna get some book page right here. Let's rip some of this off. And oh, this has a piece attached. So it's kind of hard. I realize it's kind of hard to explain how I do this because I'm kind of mindlessly doing it sometimes. I'm sitting in front of the TV or just de-stressing and putting these together. So I have this piece right here. I'm like, this is a little bit too short how it lines up there, so I might take off a little bit off the edge. And then like that. So for instance, I'll probably put this here and then put another horizontal piece across. But I usually work in threes when I'm making my bases because that usually ends up working well. So I don't use a lot of glue because you don't need it, and it adds a lot of thickness to the piece. So I just put a little tiny bit, just enough for it to stick. Okay, so I have that. Now I'm gonna find a piece to go probably horizontally like that. So let's see. I'll kind of like line stuff up like this, go like that. I'm just kind of trying to find pieces that work. And I feel like this is one of those projects that I like because it's sort of intuitive. It's just whatever feels right when you lay it down, and it usually turns out pretty good. So I have this piece of ledger paper, and I like to stick with color coordinating pieces a lot of the time. I just feel like when you start getting into all these different prints and colors, it looks a little chaotic, and maybe some people like that. I like when it kind of goes together, greens and the kind of the same tones. So we can lay it across there. See, that works. And I'm not super worried about if I don't like it 100% when it's at this point, because I'm gonna end up covering it up with pieces of ephemera or flower pieces like this or people at some point. So I just leave it like that because I know ultimately I'm gonna do more on it. So if I have, like, say I have this extra piece here left over from that, I'll try to work with that just so I'm not like having to rummage through pieces like scrapbook papers like the whole time. It just kind of gets frustrating at that point. And this is supposed to be kind of a relaxing project, so I try to keep it simple. So here I just have some more of that floral page. I'm not really worried about where I'm ripping it. Maybe we could do something like that. You could do something like that. I know a lot of people are worried about covering up pages and images that they have. I sometimes get, I don't want to cover that up because I really like that piece of paper, but a lot of the times I just don't use paper that I'm super attached to. I use pages that I have more than one, or pieces that I have more than one, so that I'm not stressing about it or worried about that. So I'll probably lay this down here like that. And there's a little pop color in this one too, so I do like to lay that. And I find that my pieces usually have like 2 vertical pieces and then a horizontal in some amount of order. Every now and then I'll take a piece of ephemera and I'll use that as my base, like this. You could do that. Let's do that. But I try to save, you know, the main ephemera pieces for later on, so that I'm not having to think too much. Okay, so there's that one. And then, let's see. I have some Tim Holtz paper here. So let's see if we can use this. That's a little bit long. I haven't made any pieces that are this long yet because I'm not sure how I would use that, but you could, because really you can use these to decorate your pages in your junk journals. That kind of ripped a little bit, but that's okay. I mean, it ripped crooked, but we'll go with it. Try to let it go and just go with the flow in this one. Okay, so remove all these scraps. So this paper here is kind of cool. I don't know if you can tell, but it's got the same color, greenish blue, so I might use that. I'm gonna cover that. I think I'm gonna do it. And then sometimes if I'm lining them up, I'll kind of hold this paper here and bend it, so that's where I'm going to rip it. It's not exact by any means. I did do some clusters a long time ago where I used all of my straight offcut strips, so they were like perfectly straight like this. I made them out of these, and that was fun because I really is just cutting and, you know, placing all those pieces. So that's something else that you could do. Put that there. So yeah, this is a really good project, just like a mindless type of project, and also kind of an instant gratification one, because you're just lining stuff up, inking it, gluing it, and you can get a lot done in a little amount of time. So maybe do something like that. And it's also a really good way to get rid of your scraps. So let's try that. So this is a more square piece, and that ends up working out pretty well. So I will do that. It's been really hard for me to film lately because it's been so hot, and I have the air conditioner blasting and we're all stuck inside, so it's loud. But I definitely wanted to put this together just to kind of explain the process. Okay, so there's that. I ended up covering up some of that plant that I liked, but that's okay. You can kind of see it in the background. And then let's do one more. Try to use this other, I don't know. Try to use this other piece of the Tim Holtz paper. And there's been plenty of times where I've just put something together and just ended up throwing it or reusing the pieces because it just wasn't working for me, and that's okay too. Okay, so maybe this one, we can put this on the front. Basically it's just kind of like mini collage. And I know a lot of people are out there like doing these, but this is just kind of the way that I do it. the glue down. So it helps to have sort of similarly, before I glue this on, I'll show you. This one's a little bit shorter than the bottom one. It helps to have similarly shaped or linked pieces, because then it just goes it goes together better. If you have a really long piece and a short piece, it's not really going to work out. So because I have a busy background with the floral and I have a busy ticket here, I might lay something across that isn't so busy. I might, let me see. Just looking for my music, yeah, my music paper, but I don't see it. I have all these scraps. It's a little too busy. Oh, here's some old ledger paper. That might be too much. It's okay. We'll go with it. Let's try it. That's not bad. Okay, and then lay that one that way. Perfect. So there's that one. So now we can decorate the tops. I'll show you what I do for that. Oops, sorry, I just knocked the camera. Okay, so here's the ones we put together. I have used up almost all of my Tim Holtz people, my little people. So that might be tricky. I have a couple of containers of ephemera. This is my big one. It's got all little doodads and knickknacks in it. So let's see. Green. We'll start with this green one. I also got these washi stickers out, which I haven't used a lot of. They're just fairly large, so it's hard for me. See, they're pretty big. And I saw a fern one I might use. Here we go. Kind of matches the background. Yeah, these are fun to use. I haven't used them enough, but I'm happy to pull them out. Let's see, I have a little bit of a ticket that was cut off, so maybe we can incorporate that somehow. This back. I like that. Let me get... I have these little, I love these little Tim Holtz pictures. I wish he came out with more of those. Here's a little piece of Tim Holtz ephemera. I'm just going to trim it off. So this kind of has like a greenish tone to it, so that's why I'm using it. I'll usually use that, or like a matching color or something neutral. That up there. Let's see. Also have these. So we'll probably do that. Yeah, these are hard to pick up. Okay, so this up in the upper corner. And this going across. I really try maybe adding 2 pieces. I didn't ink this. Adding 1 or 2 pieces to the finished product because it starts getting to be way too much. And then it gets really thick too. So there's that one. And then I have this Tim Holtz piece. How do we do that? It was like that. Okay, so I might add a little person. I have these Tim Holtz pieces that I kind of cut off just because their bodies were so long. Oh, that looks good. Looks good on that background. These are really thick too, these Tim Holtz people. So that might go there, and then maybe something going across here this way. Another one of those. I've never seen these before, but it came in it was a Tim Holtz ephemera pack, and they were numbers, all different types of numbers. So those are really fun. I've been having fun using these. Let's see this one. I like that. Usually one of the first things I put down is usually what I like. I could sit here all day and try to figure out which number to use and where to put it, but usually the first thing you lay down, and if it feels right, like I said, it works. Just go with your gut. Okay, there's that. And then put it all across here. There. So there's that one. And then here's another one I put together. Just wanted to get it. I still haven't found out how to use these little frames that Tim Holtz puts out. One of these days I will. So here's a ticket. That looks good right there. So sometimes I'll put down the first piece and then just lay that there and then find something to go with it, or other times I'll find both pieces and then arrange them how I want before I glue down the first piece. It just kind of works out. You'll kind of get into your groove and find out what style and which method works best for you. Oh, here's these little, I love these little mushrooms. These are cute. I think I'm gonna put that there. That's perfect. And I've kind of been on a thing where it's like, okay, I have to stop buying stuff and just start making stuff, because I've collected so much that it almost becomes overwhelming, and I don't make anything. I just buy stuff. So I'm really trying not to buy anything. And if you want to glue down all your layers, you can all the way, but I don't. I kind of like that there's, you know, elements that pop up and out of this. So here's this one, and then we'll do this last one I put together. Let's see. I'll probably put a person. Hard with these because you don't want to cover up. You don't want to cover up the words. I am just getting used to doing tutorials and talking on camera. I'm not used to it, so bear with me on figuring all this out. I know that in time I'll get better, but right now I'm still kind of figuring it out. And I just got a new phone, so hopefully the image quality is a little better too. I really don't know. I have these pieces. This is where I struggle. If I lay something down like this, I know ultimately I'm gonna cover it up, but that's okay. Like I said, I have other little flashcards like this, so I'm not super worried. Do something like that. Nothing's really speaking to me. I have these little pieces, these little die cuts I did. Something over here. I don't really like that color. Ugh, this is one of those that I'm scrapping. If I can't figure it out, I'll set it aside and I'll do another one, because it's then I start getting too caught up in what I'm gonna do and how I'm gonna do it, and it's not looking right. So I have a couple of other pieces I can try to do. Here's one. Here's one I did yesterday. Just a bunch of random pieces. So let me ink up this tag. Put that there. Do that. All right, so let's lay this down. Okay, so there's that one. So thank you guys so much for watching me do this and sitting through me figuring out how to do these things on camera. I really appreciate it, and it's been fun for me and definitely therapeutic to sit and make all these clusters. Eventually I'll make a video on how I use them, because I've put them on bags, tags, pages. I've done a lot of different stuff, but I will definitely do that in the future, and then maybe do another time-lapse video of me putting these together. So I hope everyone's doing well, and thanks for watching.